In my eyes, Luke Cage is a very viable option to put into the next Marvel vs. Capcom title. However, Luke Cage might just be too viable as a fighter in the game. You see, I have a case for him being too OP. Let's talk about it. When working on a Marvel vs. Capcom title, Capcom is tasked with a very important duty of bringing the Marvel characters to life. And not only in aesthetic and graphics, but in moveset, personality, and playstyle. The voice acting and the research done in the moves for each character in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I feel, personally, is done to perfection. This is your best example of how exactly would certain Marvel characters work in a fighting game. Characters like She-Hulk and Deadpool are almost completely, well, I say completely perfect, voice acting and everything. Luke Cage is not an exception. You see, those characters, part of what makes those characters work is Capcom. They bring out the best in those characters. Deadpool's guns, his katanas, his randomness in his moveset, his outgoing nature of the swords, his fourth wall breaking nature. Same with She-Hulk. She has this very athletic look to her. When it comes to Luke Cage, he has a very brawler feel to him. He has healing factor, 9 vulnerability, superhuman strength, and superhuman stamina. These are his core essential skill sets, or will I say his abilities. And it's very important to note. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what this will transfer to immediately. Superhuman stamina. He probably had one of the highest helps in the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 setting. This healing factor. He probably heals red health very easily. Now, here's the thing about the 9 vulnerability. This is where the core problem comes into play. You see, his invulnerability makes him kind of invincible and almost unaffected by weapons and guns. I have Chris Redfield playing for a reason, because he is a character that relies heavily on weaponry like grenade tosses, flamethrowers, shotguns, and pistols work. That shit will not affect Luke Cage at all. And this is the essential problem with him. You can't take that away from him because he doesn't have any other defining traits higher than that. His most defining trait of the character, most memorable part about him that stands out the most is his inability to get damage from bullets. Now, the best example of this, I guess I could probably say, is his Ultimate Marvel Ultimate Alliance appearance. Take a look at what Ravensoft, I believe that's the developer, did with Luke Cage's moveset here. You know, he's a brawler type. He's doing grabs. I think that's a regular part, the shoot or throw. I used to play this game. I think I would know. Anyway, he's very brawler type. He's very good, skilled fighter. And when he gets shot by these AIM soldiers, they ain't doing shit to him at all. He's not even taking damage. This is exactly how you should do Luke Cage. Ravensoft 100% understood the character. This was his most defining trait alongside his skillful fighting, his brawler type fighting. I mean, look at that. Is even shown to his intense ground pound as well, and his diving swan dive or something like that. However, in the later games, I guess you could say, taking a look at Marvel versus, oh my goodness, keep fucking this up. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, made by a completely different developer, Koei Tecmo, he is a bit more mundane. I think they got the right when it comes to giving him a chain. I think that he would have that in Marvel vs. Capcom as well, giving him a chain. He'd be like a short-range version of Ghost Rider in a sense, I guess you could say. So, yeah, but once again, once you see him get hit by weapons, it doesn't give him hit stun. It doesn't do shit to him. That's, once again, very important detail. You cannot take that away from Luke Cage. Now, it does hurt him to a certain extent, because I've noted earlier that his 9 vulnerability is kind of a weakness for him. So he could probably take damage to a certain extent with physical hits, but not so much bullet hits. And probably absolutely no hit stun. Right now, what you're seeing with your Soldier's Metal Shield is pretty much what I imagine Luke Cage would be all the time. All the time, all day, every day. Especially when it comes to weapons. And I imagine that he would have this invulnerability when it comes to attacking him, either doing a jump in, or maybe a wake up, or when you hit him for a little bit, he will have a few moments of non-hit stun. Very similar to how certain attributes worked for the Heralds in Heroes vs. Heralds mode. I think I have an example of that coming up with Felicia. Just pay close attention to that if you didn't catch it here, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, here it goes. So right there, and then if I see Felicia, there we go. Boom. That's why I imagine Luke Cage all the time. There he goes again. What do you think about this? That's all I really gotta say. That's my case. That he would be too OP. I mean, yeah, he'll be a good character, and I personally do want Luke Cage in the game, a Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game as part of the roster, just to see what Capcom would do with him. Do you agree with this? What would you do with Luke Cage's moveset? I think he'll be like a short-range version of Ghost Rider, very brawler type, have a lot of grapples, very similar to She-Hulk and Chris Redfield in terms of their movement, speed, and hit. Yeah, tell me what you think. My name is Shintone. Till next confirmation, I will be seeing you guys. Peace. Damn it. Did I end off the video early again?
Continue.